Hey everybody, it's Tracy. I'm doing a video for the first time to be about making a card, and I'm going to load the video onto YouTube, and you will be able to watch it after I load it onto YouTube. I was going to go live for the first time, but it says that it takes 24 hours to activate the ability to go live. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I guess that's an unspoken rule of YouTube that I wasn't aware of, but hey, that's okay. Gives me a chance to practice making a card without being live, and maybe I'll shoot you guys an email and tell you to stay tuned to my first go live. So, tonight we're going to be making a card using this really cute stamp set. This is from the Stamps of Life, which is a company out of California, and I just realized how dry my hands look. So as I'm talking to you a little bit about this company, I'm going to put some lotion on my hands. And I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see better. Again, this is my first video that I've done while talking and trying to stamp at the same time. I've done a couple dry runs, but not while talking. The dry runs that I have done so far have been just me making a card while taping myself on my cell phone and then playing it back and watching it, but not really saying anything. So this is the first time that I'm actually talking at the same time. So anyways, yes, the Stamps of Life is a company based out of California. Stephanie Bernard is the owner of the company, and she is a designer for Sizzix. And every month she comes out with a different stamp kit. And this one was from last month, and it's called Llama to Stamp. And I don't know if you guys are aware, and I don't know how you could not be aware unless you'd ever go into a store, but in all the stores' merchandise right now, there are llama themed products. This year for work, we had an ugly sweater type contest, and the sweater that I bought was a llama. It had a llama on the sweater. So you can tell that it's a popular thing whenever it's going to be featured on an ugly sweater. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out our llama here to start off with. These are clear photopolymer stamps, and very high quality. I've never had any issues with any of these stamps not working the way I intended. I've been a member of the stamp club with the Stamps of Life since last September. Now, one thing that I don't know how to do yet, because this is only my initial video here on YouTube, is how to link things down in the description as far as how to find the product. But I don't have much of a following, and most of you know how to get a hold of me. So if you would like to know more about how to get, just look up Stamps of Life, or let me know and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But that's creating a glare, so I'm going to take it off the screen. So I'm using the Brutus Monroe Raven Detail ink to ink up our first llama. And I thought I would ink up two, and we'll see how it goes. This is one of those Fiskars stamp presses, and they do make a nice alternative to the Misty or any of those other stamping presses that you hear of, or those stamping tools. Don't get me wrong, I love my Misty. But when you're in a hurry, which I'm hoping to get this video done quickly, it does save a little bit of time. And what's nice about it is, because it sets up on these foam pads, you can actually align it to right where you need it. I'm not so worried about, getting it in the middle of the page or centering it, because my plan is to color it in and then cut it out. I have a brother scan and cut, and then do part 2 of this video after I have a chance to cut it out. So you just go like this and you press down, and you can take your fingers over the area that you just stamped. And there's our happy llama, and hopefully it'll make a nice image. This is the first time I used this stamp set, so hopefully it makes a nice crisp image. We are about to find out together. Hey, not bad. I like that. I think that looks pretty good. So we will just scoot the paper over a little bit, and what we'll do is color it in, and then I will cut him out or her out, and then do part 2. So this is just part 1, and I am hoping that it doesn't take long to upload on YouTube, and I'm hoping that you're able to hear me okay. Again, this is first time, so don't be too hard on me. You guys know that for those of you that, well, really, I only have 10 followers, so you all know me, that I like to stamp. I like to make handmade cards, and most importantly, I like giving them away. But I will have to admit, and that turned out really nice too, I will have to admit that lately I'm just starting to give more and more of my cards away. I've only been stamping since last February, card stamping since last February. And as far as the color for this llama, I thought we would do sort of this light gray color, and I'm hoping that it actually looks more white. Wait a minute, let me move this so that it doesn't have a glare. I read or listened to a YouTube video once that said that if you have a white object and you use a Copic marker, and this is a style file Copic marker that I purchased off of brutusmonroe.com. If you color it in with a gray, then it will actually look white on the white paper. So I'm hoping that that holds true. I did recently do polar bear card, and it did, polar bears are white, but I used this same color, and it did, look white till I was all said and done. Now, the Raven ink, I'm pretty sure it dries pretty quickly, and my Copic markers shouldn't smear too much using the Raven ink. I think it's pretty Copic friendly. This guy's definitely looking gray, so hopefully once the ink dries and he has a chance to dry, this llama will look more white than gray, or maybe it's just the lighting here. I recently put some lights in that I've not colored under that much, so it could be that. But anyways, this is style file NG0 Natural Gray. I don't have that many style file markers. I do have some Copic markers, but I don't have any anything besides yellow or brown, and I didn't know that I wanted to make this one brown. I think llamas are mostly white or off-white. Sadly, I'm not really that sure. I'm not that familiar with llamas. I know that they can sometimes spit on you, which is not a very pleasant thing, obviously, but I think this one looks pretty doggone cute, and I think it's going to make a cute card. So let me just color in the ears. It kind of reminds me of the color of a bunny rabbit, all this fuzzy wuzzy fur. I'll do the face a different color, or maybe just leave the face white. We'll see. You see, I am not an expert colorist. I have watched videos about coloring with your Copic markers, and I have tried to improve my skill, but I certainly have a long way to go. And a lot of practice is one way to get better at anything. And I know that my friends here, my card making friends, are supportive of me as I endeavor in this new journey of making cards, on YouTube and share. And what I was going to say earlier was, why did I get into card making? Well, card making kind of chose me. I didn't choose it. But I had a friend say to me once recently, you make all these cards and they're so pretty, you probably have a hard time giving them away. Well, I don't. I don't make these cards so that I can stare at them. Not that I think that they're fantastic. You know, certainly I don't think they're artwork or pieces of art. I don't make these cards, though, for my own benefit or pleasure. Now, I certainly find it relaxing and a good way to de-stress after a stressful day. But it's not about me making something to look at it and say, oh, isn't that pretty? Let's let's hang it on the wall. No, no. I do it because I want to share with others. I want to be able to give other people handmade cards. And not that they would ooh and ah over it, because it's not about me and it's not about that, but just to give them a little bit of a smile on their face. You know, for example, you get a card with a llama on it saying something funny beside it, it's hard not to giggle or laugh. And so that's what motivates me, you know, just to bring a smile on somebody's face. There's a lot of people who don't get cards. It's in the mail or from friends. And, it's something special about getting a card and opening it up. And I guess knowing that a person thinks enough that they would take the time to make a card for you, but really not about showing off my design of a card or anything like that. More about encouraging other people. Whoa, sorry about that. Encouraging other people who might think, well, I could never color, or I could never do a card. Now this is a Copic marker, a Copic sketch marker, and it's number E22 sand. And I really don't know what color llama hooves are, but I'm going to make these 4 hooves brown. And hopefully it won't look too strange. Now, I kind of like the brown, and I'm thinking that some llama, and I don't know what the plural of llama is, but I'm thinking that some of them are brown. Like, again, I'm not an expert on llamas. I do not know everything there is to know about llamas. But I think I'm going to color this one the brown color. I think it reminds me of a warm cup of coffee. Sort of like coffee with cream, which I do like my coffee. But what I was saying was card making kind of chose me. And if you would have told me about 3 or 4 years ago that I would be making cards and giving them to people and coloring and things like that, yeah, I mean, I had done adult coloring books before and enjoyed that, but really I like to share. I like to be able to share information. And even when I was coloring, I was always encouraging others to color with me, encouraging friends to get together and color together, or encouraging others to, maybe they never would have considered that they, could color, or they never would have considered how relaxing it is to color. That was something that was, I thought, helpful to me, and it's just something I wanted to let other people know about. I think people don't realize how much coloring can be fun, but recently, 2 years ago, we decided to put together a little card making class, and I'm not talking about anything fancy. It was very elementary, after church one Sunday for the people that were shut in and who weren't able to get out of their homes or get out of the nursing home. And we wanted to be able to send these folks a Valentine. So because I had a lot of craft supplies, and I'll tell you later in maybe a future video how I came to get this Copic, which I didn't even know what a Copic marker was, but I don't really want to talk about that at my first video. But these supplies are near and dear to my heart. I'll leave it at that. But I took the supplies to church once, and we were making these cards, and you would be surprised how many people came out and stayed after church to make a card. And there were men, there were young people, there were old people, there were women, there were people who had never made a card in their entire life. And everybody really enjoyed it. They really had a nice time just doing something with their hands and creating something. And those that stayed to craft were very surprised at how much fun they had and what they came up with. And really, we just had red, pink, white paper. We had stickers. We had, some glitter paper. I'm not too worried about coloring outside of the lines here. I'm not too worried about that because we're going to cut it out with the Scan and Cut, and it gets pretty close to the actual line there. So one thing, now I just got the Scan and Cut for Christmas, and I really do love it for this exact reason. Saving money on having to buy dyes, and also being able to color something. There's nothing worse than the feeling, for me anyways, of coloring something and thinking, oh, that looks pretty nice, I colored that okay, and then going to cut it out, fussy cut it out, and then it just, I just totally butcher it. And I thought, why did I even bother if I can't even trim around it? Now this image wouldn't be quite as hard to trim because it's pretty big, for one thing, and it's not extremely intricate. It doesn't have a bunch of flowers or leaves that are, can be challenging to cut around. But what I was saying was that it was a good feeling to share art supplies with other people and to see them become excited and have fun and smile and do something creative with their hands, even if it was mindless crafting. And then the result of getting those cards out to the people who maybe haven't received a Valentine's card in a long, long time. I mean, I didn't deliver them or anything like that. There were other people that took care of that. But I can imagine that the people who received them, I hope, were pleased with receiving something homemade. This is a style file marker, and I keep switching because it's basically based on supplies that I have. And the number is 802. So this is a style file marker. Purchased this from BrutusMonroe.com. If you're not familiar with, I know everybody that is watching right now is familiar with Brutus Monroe because that's how I met you. But if you are not familiar with Brutus Monroe, what I meant was, if you're one of my crafting friends, I probably met you through Brutus Monroe. It's a company based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and they sell card making supplies and lots of really great items that you could use to make cards. So I think Llama number 1 and Llama number 2 look pretty darn cute. I'm pleased with them. I'm not sure I like his brown hooves. I think I'm going to actually color them in darker. And I'm not sure if this is the proper color, and I don't really think it matters because it's what I want it to be. And, we don't do perfect. We do the best that we can. And we're not in a contest to be judged against others. At least I'm not. I just want to be able to bring a smile to some folks' face and maybe help people learn something. But I think that we can all learn from each other. And that's what I wanted to say, that I think it's really important to realize that there's a lot that we can learn from each other. So I'm debating whether or not to color in his face brown, but I don't think I will. I think I like it white. Now his face should probably be a lighter brown, but I don't know if I have a lighter brown than the one I picked. That's pretty much the same exact color. Let's see. That's even darker, which would probably not look as good. So I'm just going to leave it white. And this will have to be part 1 of the llama card. I'm going to pause, and I cannot believe I've been talking for over 20 minutes, talking and coloring for over 20 minutes. I'm going to pause, end this video, and then with video number 2, I'll have cut out, and we'll be ready to stamp. And we have some really cute sayings on this card, on this card set, and I'll read some of those, and then, you know, actually put together a card. So see you on the next video. Bye-bye.